This is a mock interview conducted by Forum IAS Academy at New Delhi. The interview panel includes eminent academicians, retired bureaucrats, and other luminaries. The objective of the program is to acquaint the candidate with the format and expectations of the personality test conducted by UPSC.
May I come in, sir?
Please come in.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Have a seat.
Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Okay, Shruti, recently there has been a lot of demand from some states that there should be a caste census,
Yes, sir.
which was last done in 1931. Now, what are the advantages and disadvantages of such a census?
Sir, advantages would be that such an exercise would allow us to have a more data-driven and evidence-based policy making, whether which quotas are justified and which castes or subcastes are not availing them judiciously, etc. But
Okay.
a big disadvantage would be that practically it is a difficult exercise to conduct, and having a data integrity would be a difficult task, and in short term it may harden caste identities because people would stick to them in a more stronger manner.
Okay, fine. Now, of all the regions in India, there is one region where among the Hindus there is only one caste. All other regions are multi-caste. Which is that region?
Sir, I am not aware, sir.
It has been in the news. Kashmir.
Okay.
Kashmir has only Pandits.
Okay.
No Thakurs, no Banyas, no other castes, no OBCs, no scheduled castes.
Okay.
Can you guess why Kashmir has only Pandits and no other Hindu caste?
Sir, one possible reason could be that Kashmir was a hub of knowledge in India before advent of Islam there. So people who went there became proficient or experts in their subject matter, and hence they were called Pandits. This could be one possible reason, sir.
Well, you should read about this because, since Kashmir Files is being shown and say
Yes.
there could be questions on that. So,
Yes.
why Kashmir has only one caste among Hindus? That's it. We should go into some detail on that issue.
Yes, sir.
Tell me, how is child sex ratio defined?
Sir, I'm not aware how exactly it is defined, and
It is 1,000 per 1,000 male children in the age group 0 to 6. How many girl children are there? That's how it is defined.
okay.
So, what is India's picture on child sex ratio? Any idea?
Sir, it is below 1,000 for girls. I'm not able to recall the exact
Well,
numbers.
please read about this, and also whether it's improving or not improving. That's very important.
So
Because
it
you
is
may.
improving as per the latest National Family Health Survey 5.
It is improving as per National Family Health Survey, but as per the SRS sample registration system, it has not improved. So there is a controversy whether to believe the SRS data or the IFos data. That is one thing. What about if you look at the global reports, like the Global Gender Gap Report, it shows that India's rank on gender indicators is falling rapidly.
Yes, sir.
Why is India not doing so well on gender indicators?
Sir, the gender report measures parameters like economic participation, political well-being, etc.
Okay.
So, female labor force participation in India has been falling due to multiple reasons.
Why? What are those reasons?
One possible reason could be rising income, paradoxically, because women who were earlier working to make ends meet, now withdraw from the market. Other issues are low mobility for women. Third, there is a huge skill gap at higher level for women and men, and at lower levels, jobs are disappearing due to automation, etc. And at higher level, there is both technical skill gap as well as behavioral issues where women are not trusted as much as men with capital, with funds, with higher positions of authority. So both of these issues contribute.
Yeah, also the kind of jobs which are being created are men-centric. Taxi drivers, auto drivers, security guards, delivery boys.
Yes, sir. The gig economy, though
Yeah.
it caters to both, but it is more.
That's right. So that's again an important question.
Yes, sir.
How is poverty defined in India and how is it measured?
So recently, Niti Aayog has come up with the multidimensional poverty index, where it has taken all the indicators of the Oxford UNDP and added 2 other measures to it: the bank account and antenatal care.
And what was the result? How many people, according to this report, are below poverty line?
Sir, I'm sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall.
25%.
25%.
25%. Okay. Have you heard of Garib Kalyan Yojana?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
Sir, it was launched in wake of COVID and it caters to multiple sections of people. For instance, first it gives free ration it has been extended to 3 months in some area. It gives free additional ration to poor families. It gives rupees.
Who are the beneficiaries? How many people are getting free rations? Only the BPL, poor people, or what percentage of people would be getting free rations under the Garib Kalyan Yojana?
Sir, around 65% of Indian population is eligible for ration under Garib Kalyan Yojana.
Good, very good.
That includes both BPL and APL families. And families that were earlier eligible for ration under TPDS scheme and Anna Vitran Yojana, they are eligible for
75% of rural and 50% of urban, they are all entitled.
Yes, sir.
So, good. Lastly, tell me something about the difference between Planning Commission and Niti Aayog. You talk about Niti Aayog's report. What are the differences in the functioning or the powers of why was Niti Aayog created and what was wrong with Planning Commission? Is it just a change in name or their functions have also been changed?
Yes, sir. So Niti Aayog was constituted in 2015 after this new government came, and it wants to change the entire approach of planning from top down to bottom up in Niti Aayog. And so in Planning Commission, there were certain issues that the Planning Commission was virtually more powerful than the Parliament and even sometimes the Council of Ministers, because it exercised a lot of powers. What it planned, it was just approved sort of by the Parliament. But in Niti Aayog, there is an approach towards a Team India approach where states are given a greater say. The actual powers of the Niti Aayog has been reduced, but its interaction with experts, its role as a think tank and as a coordinator or as a matchmaker has been focused upon.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Shruti, you have done MSc and one of your subjects is computational biology.
Yes, sir.
What is computational biology?
So in computational biology, we apply computational techniques on biological data, particularly big data like genomic data, proteomic data, transcriptomics data.
So you work with computer engineers or you do the coding and stuff yourself?
So we learn basic coding with some easy language like Python or R or SQL, any one language, and we try to work on our own based on those languages.
Recently, I was reading about a supercomputing facility in IIT Delhi's Biological Sciences department. What are supercomputers?
So supercomputers, I'm not aware whether there is an exact criteria, but it would mean a computer with very high computational power.
Do you know what is GPU computing?
No, sir.
Okay. Do you think the quantum supremacy is going to change the way we look at supercomputers?
Yes, sir. certainly can, because quantum computers work on an entirely different methods, and it is much more faster than the traditional methods, and it can change the way computing works.
Do you know what is quantum supremacy?
Yes, sir. It means that a quantum computer can excel or outperform a traditional computer by a very wide margin on mathematical problems.
Okay. So can you tell me some applications of botany in agriculture?
So botany would be useful for all the aspects of agriculture, starting with production of or hybridization of cultivars. So botany has been used for better yield, better shelf life, for example, and better disease resistance, etc. For example, our Department of Botany has came up with DMH alpha variety of mustard. And then botany can also be used for better management of agricultural practices. Like it can tell us which crops are suitable for which agroecological conditions, what crop rotations would be suitable, etc.
Can botany also help in preventing climate change?
Yes, sir.
How?
It's because of its link to forestry and sustainable agriculture, etc. It can help with both preventing climate change and mitigating its impact. In preventing climate change, botany would help us by telling us to focus more on ecological restoration rather than just afforestation. And for mitigating the impact of climate change, we can come up with resilient varieties, resilient practices, etc.
Okay. So you have also studied in SGTB Khalsa College.
Yes, sir.
Can you just speak for 30 seconds about the word Khalsa?
So the world was constituted by the 10th Guru Gobind Singh Ji, where he declared 5 people as Panj Pyare, and they began Khalsa. Khalsa means something which is pure, and Guru Gobind Singh Ji became the 6th Khalsa, and from there Sikhism as a religion began. So in Khalsa, a lot of emphasis is placed on purity of both physical being and mental mental well-being, purity. And there are 5 essential elements of Khalsa, the 5 Ks, Kesh, Katar, etc.
Okay. Do you think Sikhism is a militaristic sect?
No, sir. We cannot call it a militaristic sect because it is not just about war or defending it physically, but it places a lot of emphasis on inner well-being also, inner purity also. So it combines both the physical aspects and the mental aspects.
Thank you, Shruti.
Thank you, sir.
Shruti, please tell me what is the meaning of your name?
So Shruti means any statement which is heard, but as a proper noun, it refers to a body of literature which is from ancient Indian literature and is considered very authoritative, authorless, and timeless.
I was going through your form. Very categorically, you have not opted Indian Foreign Service. And you are prepared to go even to Andaman Nicobar, but very clearly you don't want to go to. What's the reason behind that?
Sir,
Because let me tell you, even an IAS officer can be posted abroad. So what is so against Foreign Service?
so there is nothing like against foreign services. But I want to work here on issues, social and administrative issues that are present in my country. Also, it would be more suitable for my family if I stay here.
My dear friend, Ukraine is influencing Uttar Pradesh. The crisis of Ukraine is increasing the price of our diesel and petrol.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Please tell me, what is cryptocurrency?
So crypto means anything that is hidden, and currency is something that holds value and that can be exchanged. So in cryptocurrency is anything digital that holds certain value and is generated using crypto technology.
I can transfer 10 rupees through Paytm from my wallet to your wallet. Is it cryptocurrency?
No, sir, because that 10 rupees is a legal tender. It is fiat money.
No, legal tender hasn't come in the picture. I'm simply transferring from my mobile to your mobile. 10 rupees balance is deducted from my mobile. 10 rupees is added to your mobile Paytm. Is it a digital currency transaction or not?
Sir, it is as of now not a digital currency transaction because that 10 rupees can be exchanged for physical INR and holds equal value in both places. But for cryptocurrency to be cryptocurrency, it has to be outside the banking system of a country.
No, all cryptocurrency transactions do take place without banking. You can't transact even a single rupee on cryptocurrency. Well, no problem. Have you heard anything about farm laws, कृषि कानून?
Yes, sir.
क्या 3 objectionable issues थे उसमें? What were those 3 points, major points, which were resisted by that they should be withdrawn? Any 3 points?
So first major one was that since MSP is not legal, it can happen that with disappearance of APMCs, government would stop procuring at MSPs altogether. Second issue was with the Essential Commodities Act, where farmers feared that it can lead to hoarding and domination by the corporates. Third was with contractual farming, where farmers felt that their side of the story would not be heard with with the system that Krishi Kanuns proposed, grievance redressal systems that Krishi Kanun proposed.
You mentioned that you read fiction. English fiction or Hindi fiction?
Sir, I read both.
Both, okay. Can you tell me last Hindi fiction book that you read? जो आपने आखिरी किताब पढ़ी हिंदी की fiction की?
Sir, in long ones, I read Godan.
गोदान, okay. गोदान में जो किसानों की हालत बताई गई है, वो आपको लगता है चेंज हो गई या ऑलमोस्ट वैसी ही है?
सर, बहुत सारे रीजंस में चेंज हुई है, बट कुछ रीजंस में लगभग वैसी ही है. जैसे पंजाब हरियाणा के जो फार्मर्स हैं उनकी कंडीशन बहुत चेंज हो गई, जहाँ पे और इंस्टीट्यूशनल क्रेडिट का जो रीच है वो भी काफ़ी बढ़ गया है कंपेयर टू दोज टाइम्स. एंड देयर आर मोर advanced technologies like tractors, etc., which were not there in those times.
Tell you one thing, Shruti, you have been given NAT JRF UGC scholarship, all right. Government has spent lots of money on you to make a scientist. And one fine day you have decided now you want to become an administrator. So, should you not compensate the money spent by government on you for this scholarship? One fine morning you say, no, you don't want even to IAS, I want to join TCS, I want to go to film. So you leave all this. So how you explain this? What exactly is the reason behind that? Were you not sure enough when you were choosing this botany? Or why should we not take you as a frequent changer of mind? आज ये करना है, परसों ये करना है, 2 दिन बाद ये करना है. So how can we convince about your mental firmness?
Sir, I feel that I can compensate for, I can certainly give back what I have received from the government.
Pakka? Sure?
Yes, sir.
All.
And I am not changing my mind frequently. I made up my mind to be in civil services in 3rd year of my college, final year, but I could not appear that year because I was underage. So I went on to do a master's degree because I did not want to sit idle. I was interested in the subject. I thought it would help me. It won't harm me if I gain extra knowledge in that. And this exam I haven't availed the scholarship yet. I just cleared the exam.
Okay. Then you are saying you can give it back since you have not received anything. Okay, sir.
Can you just elaborate about what the movement was all about, Khalistani movement?
Sir, it was a demand for a separate nation called Khalistan in the Punjab region of India based on their religious identity of Sikhism.
Okay. So what were the reasons that, the movement was at such a peak in 1980s and all of a sudden in the 90s it subsided? Why do you think that the same hasn't happened with Kashmir? It has been pestering on since 1989, I think. Why do you think, what is different in the scenario? Why we have been able to, stop the movement in Punjab, but we failed in Kashmir?
So there could be multiple reasons to it. One could be the nature and extent of external actors' support to Khalistanis and to Kashmiri extremists, where Kashmiri extremists get much more support from outside, cross-border terrorism, etc. Another reason could be a different nature of political setups in Punjab and Kashmir, where Article 370 prevented a lot of activities from the center, where those bars were not there in Punjab. These two could
So
be.
do you think with the abrogation of 370, eventually Kashmir movement will also die, the separatist movement?
So it could be just one step in that direction, but certainly not sufficient or essential. We would have to bring in the idea of democracy, the Kashmiri Jamhuriyat statement that our earlier Prime Minister has given, and we would have to bring employment and education opportunities to the people of Kashmir, besides stopping cross-border activities.
Has anything changed after abrogation of 370 in the three dimensions that you mentioned?
So MHA has given some statement regarding reduction in terrorist activities, extremist activities there. But after this takeover of Afghanistan by Taliban, there has been again a surge of such extreme activities. And on development and employment front too, there has been some better activities, like Pulwama has been developed as a pencil town. There are a lot of recently an agreement was signed with I think UAE for investment in Jammu and Kashmir. So,
Okay, all right. So you have graduated in botany.
yes.
Can you tell me what are GMOs?
So GMOs are genetically modified organisms where their genome are modified in any way by adding a gene or removing a gene or upregulating a gene in laboratory conditions.
And how are GMOs different from HYE seeds that are led to Green Revolution? What is the difference between the two?
So for GMOs, we essentially do it in lab conditions using advanced rDNA or recombinant DNA techniques. But for hybrid creation, we go by conventional methods of crossing.
Okay. And do you think GMOs should be introduced at a widespread level? What is the current status?
Sir, current status in India, we only allow GMOs for cotton, and recently we have allowed for rubber, but only for non-edible purposes. And it would be difficult to say that we should introduce them on a widespread scale because there are a lot of biosafety concerns related with GMOs.
Can you elaborate?
Yes, sir. Sir, effects of GMOs on human health, say 10 years down the line or 20 years down the line, is unpredictable. Secondly, it can affect tritrophic interactions, or it can lead to horizontal gene transfer, where an added gene gets into unintended organisms, say microbes or weeds or other insects, etc. Then there is also social economic concerns of monopolies or small farmers being at the receiving end, etc.
Has the BT seeds that were introduced in cotton, have they been successful? Have they achieved what they were intended for?
See, they have certainly boosted the growth of cotton, yield of cotton in India. But there has been certain issues too, like there was a new pink bollworm that BT cotton was not resistant to, and other such issues like area under cotton has not done as well as we would like it to.
And what is the regulatory arrangement in India regarding GMOs?
So there are 6 bodies regarding GMOs. 2 major ones is FSI, major one is GEAC, Genetic Engineering Approval Committee, that approves GMOs that approves and is responsible for test and trial of GMOs. And FSI is responsible for regulating GMO content in foods, including exports and imports particularly.
And what is the government stand on GMOs? Is there any law related to it or for regulation?
So, this is all I'm aware of,
Okay.
these 2 bodies.